Domain 4, Food Service Systems. Topic B, Procurement, Production, Distribution, and Service. Presentation by Riva and Anush.
Procurement, Purchasing Department, and Can Cutting. Procurement is often defined as the first functional subsystem of the transformation element. Procurement is the process of acquiring goods and services, including the determination of the products needed, making purchases, receiving and storing shipments, and administering the purchase contracts. Procurement is often confused with the term purchasing. However, purchasing in simpler terms is the process of focusing on receiving the right products in correct quantities and at the right time. Purchasing is the small subsystem of the procurement, whereas the procurement is the umbrella term. Purchasing department. What does purchasing department do? Purchasing department is responsible for making purchases for the organization. Centralized purchasing is the department where the buyer purchases for the whole organization. He or she makes negotiations to lower prices of the materials and goods and develops long-term supply agreements. Purchasing department has two centers. The first one is the profit center, which is the part of the business or department that generates more revenues than costs or expenses. However, it's also it's managing for both the costs and revenues, but it generates more profit. Cost center is a part of the business or department that is expected to control the expenses, but it does not generate any profit. And can cutting. What is can cutting? This is the process of requesting samples from vendors to open the cans of different products and compare their characteristic differences. The quality and other characteristic differences between the brands are determined. Let's talk about the procurement principles, concepts, and methods. Informal versus formal market and future contracts. When the company needs to make a purchasing decision, it can either use the informal or open market or the formal or competitive bid buying purchase processes. So the first one is the informal open market. This includes orders that are made by telephone, or they can also be made by directly contacting the salesperson. The items can be purchased from one or two supply sources, and the amount of the purchase is small. So it's usually less than or equal to $250,000. And the informal or open market is mostly used because of the urgent need and the fast delivery requirements. On the other hand, the formal or competitive bid buying needs a formal contract made between the buyer and the supplier. And this is usually used for tax-supported institutions. And the supplies, in this case, have to be more than $250,000. And this is a more time-consuming process compared to the informal or open marketing. However, the benefit includes less misunderstanding related to the quality, price, and the delivery. Future contracts. This name actually gives the definition of it. This is a contract made between two parties to buy or sell an asset. It includes predetermined price and future shipping date. Understanding prime vending, group or co-op purchasing. Prime vending is used by many food service managers. It is the process of using a single vendor source to purchase majority of the products needed for the company. Group or co-op purchasing includes collective purchasing. This type of during this type of purchasing, many food service managers come together from different operations and organizations, and they collectively purchase products for their companies. The major benefit associated with group or co-op purchasing includes obtaining high discount rates. Just-in-time purchasing. This is the type of purchasing where the main purpose is to purchase the products which are delivered just when they are needed to be produced and consumed by the customer. The food costs need to be included in the daily costs, but they do not need to be included in the inventory, nor they should be stored. So the main benefit includes decreased costs, less labor, and reduced inventory in the storage. Purchase requisition. The purchasing process uses the purchase requisition as the first document on the internal form, which is used to request items from the purchasing manager. And this is the first picture on the slide. The purchase requisition includes the requisition number, delivery date, budget account number, the quantity needed, and the product's description. Purchase order, on the other hand, is an order which is completed by the buyer and is sent to the supplier to authorize a purchase. And it is the second picture on the slide. And this is a written record of the items ordered and quantities needed. Standing orders. A food service operation may decide to replenish a specific order and not to make different purchase orders for every delivery. And this is an agreement between buyer and the supplier to purchase the same quantity of the products for each delivery. FOB, or free on board. This is an import and or export term. It's actually used to describe the point at which the responsibilities for the goods are passed from the seller to the buyer. It's important to note that the seller is only responsible and liable for any damages that might happen to the product until the products are loaded on the vessel. Once they are loaded and they're ready to be transported, from that point, the buyer is going to be responsible for all of the costs until he or she receives the delivery.
A written specification is a written statement understood by both the buyer and supplier and is exactly what it sounds like. It specifies the expected and required quality of the merchandise being purchased. It specifies the name, quantity, quality, brand, style, etc. of the merchandise, so there is no question as to what the buyer intends to buy and what the seller intends to sell. There are several types of written specifications: the technical and the approved brand specification. The technical is used when the quality of the product is measurable through, for example, grading systems like graded foods or chemical analysis like chemical analyzed soaps or detergents. The approved brand specification is exactly that. When you specify exactly which brand of a product you desire, you are looking for a specific brand or label, and through those brand names, you can identify their quality. Performance specification is an additional type of specification, which is based on how the product performs, meaning does it function the way you'd expect it to? Will the detergent work as hard as you'd like it or be as soft as you'd like? This could be determined by checking the pH level and specifying the pH level you require. What are formularies? Formularies are the products you've decided your company is willing to use. Once you've chosen which mayonnaise you'd use, then you can buy them in bulk so you can purchase them at a cheaper price. Vendor performance requirements are a set of performance standards your company expects of the product you purchase. Every buyer must adhere to a code of ethics, as does every professional in all areas of business. It ensures that all business dealings and transactions are conducted with honesty and integrity. The code includes business ethics, with people outside your organization, code of professional practice within your organization, an employee code of conduct for each employee with the next. As part of this code of ethics, it is important to always be truthful and never deceitful. Always treat people nicely, but don't cross the line. Don't be so friendly that you give or accept gifts, because that can be looked at as taking a bribe and can lead to favoring that person's product over another and can negatively affect your company and its integrity. Could even lead to choosing an inferior product, which may lower your final quality and cause you to lose profit. What is a food broker? Well, first of all, what is a broker in general? A broker helps bring two people together in a business deal. If you have something to sell, a broker might help you advertise your product and find you people or companies to buy your products. A food broker helps you sell your food products. The broker acts as a middleman and receives a commission for each deal he makes for you. Not only does he make the deal, but he can help negotiate prices and help build relationships between the two parties. Using food management software is extremely beneficial because it helps keep your business organized. It manages your inventory, helps set prices based on portion size, keeps logs updated, organizes schedules, and puts it all together in one neat package that can be viewed by all who need to access any of the information. Without an organized business, it is hard to keep track of inventory, so you end up buying things last second in a panic and paying higher prices. It helps set prices so you don't over or undercharge, and ultimately helps ensure a better overall profit margin.
Thank you so much for listening, and here are the sources that we used to create this presentation.